Los Angeles Rams at the New York Giants. Rams favored by 5.5 going to New York here. We got Tyrod Taylor. He is getting the start for the Giants.
Yep. The Cutlets era is over. Probably.
Most likely.
Tyrod has been the best quarterback for that Giants team this season. So from that point of view, I think it's interesting to watch. I also am a unashamed Tyrod Taylor stan. Me and Mina. The Tyrod Taylor fan club. It might be just the two of us at this point. But
we should do a whole podcast
on but the two of
Tyrod
us
love.
Are the Tyrod Taylor fan club. So I'm all for seeing Tyrod Taylor lead a game at home against the Los Angeles Rams, a playoff team.
Yeah. The MVP stuff.
Tyrod?
Stafford.
No, I see.
Not enough people talking about Matthew Stafford.
Well, it's because he had the first half of the year, there were no stats.
The stats were bad.
Yeah.
But he's
so everyone's like, well. Oh, look, he's on a tear right now. It's like he's been playing this way the whole year. It's just for some reason for the first half of the year, that resulted in like 8 passing touchdowns.
Remember how I used to describe Stafford as the guy 4 or 5 times a year looks like the best quarterback in the NFL. He's got 4 games above 90 this year. Week 1 against Seattle, week 6 against Arizona, and the last 2 weeks against Washington and New Orleans. Now you might say, okay, those are all against not so great defenses. But New Orleans, that was an impressive game, that Thursday night game. He is cooking right now. And you got all these on-off splits. When he has his, second-year, fifth-round running back, Kyron Williams, and he's got Puka and Cooper Kupp on the field, is the best offense in the league for whatever reason. But so if you were making the MVP case for Stafford, like Kyron Williams is playing great. But you would say, well, Stafford's just dragging 5th-round running back Kyron Williams, 5th-round rookie Puka Nacua, one leg of Cooper Kupp. He's just dragging this team, right? They had like 28 players at minicamp in May because they were so young. They didn't have anybody on the roster. It was Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, and 97 rookies on this team. And Stafford's dragging them to the playoffs, to the point where apparently you said, this is the team you don't want to play come playoff time. Yeah. I didn't know you did one of those.
No, I generally, a couple of weeks ago somebody said that about the Rams, and I was like, I think that's crazy. I think most teams would want to play the Rams in the playoffs. They're not that good. But actually over the last couple of weeks I've come around on that, and I think as long as they have the components to be scary, because you have Matthew Stafford playing at this incredible level, when Cooper Kupp, we know what he can do, obviously. We've seen it, 2,000 type of yards, over the year. And then, like Puka Nacua, okay, he's a rookie, but obviously we've seen since day one he can make a huge impact. I think we've also seen at this point it's not going to go away. Like, it wasn't just this figure. He's not, rookie Travis Fulgham. It wasn't just a weird run of, like, games where Puka Nacua was getting fed the ball because Cooper Kupp was hurt, and now that he's back, like, it's going to be a thing. Puka Nacua, rather, is absolutely for real. He's making big plays. He's got good hands. He's got run after the catch ability. He's strong. He runs good routes. Like, he's good. And then the Kyron Williams thing looks legit as well. And that offensive line, okay, it's not a vintage Rams offensive line. It's not what it was when it was at its best, but it's shown now to be good enough. So that offense can scare anybody. And then the defense might be the weaker element of the team, but it still brings Aaron Donald to the table. And even if that's all it brings, and it isn't quite, but every single team that has to play the Rams cannot go into a game without spending the week figuring out how Aaron Donald is not going to be a factor in this game. You might look at him and think, he's washed at this point. He's not the same guy. Look at the sack numbers. He still has 16, I think, more pressures this year than any other interior defensive lineman. And he's still one of the most double-teamed players in the NFL. He gets more attention, or as much attention, as any defensive lineman in the league, and he's still out there wrecking shop. So if you don't do that, like if you go, Aaron Donald's washed, forget about it, we just run our game plan, he will ruin you. So every single game they play that week in the playoffs has got to be spent dealing with Aaron Donald. That's important.
In addition to the Giants, anytime they face any defensive tackle, the defensive tackle can ruin their game.
Well, that's because the Giants have a terrible offensive line. Yeah.
I expect Donald to wreak havoc here, for sure. It is a battle of the two quarterbacks with the lowest turnover-worthy play rate in the NFL.
Stafford and Tyrod.
Given sample sizes. Tyrod is classic, doesn't put the ball in harm's way, but probably he doesn't throw turnover-worthy plays, but he does get sacked a lot generally. his sack total this year, though, behind that Giants offensive line, given what Tommy DeVito and Daniel Jones have done, it's like a minor miracle that Tyrod has done. So when you say he's played the best, like he has done a good job taking care of the ball, avoiding negative plays, especially relative to the two other QBs.
But the other thing that's been different about Tyrod this year, now look, it's crazy small sample size. The guy's got 135 dropbacks this season. So, but remember right at the start of his Buffalo career, it seemed like every game when he was starting, every game he was dropping in like one absolutely insane deep bomb or cover 2 hole shot or just really, really impressive intermediate to deep, big time type of throw, right? And then those kind of disappeared over the course of his starting career. He was always pretty good in terms of not putting the ball in harm's way, but he stopped making those big plays. And that took a lot away from the ceiling of what he could be as a quarterback. And that's why, there was the clamoring for a new guy, and Josh Allen comes in, and obviously Josh Allen has a much higher ceiling and just is a better quarterback. But those big-time throws have come back this year for Tyrod in limited starts. Like he's actually had quite a few of those big plays. We saw last week he comes in, he drops a bomb to Darius Slayton. Like those things have come back to his game. So not only has he still got that, he's not putting the ball in harm's way, whereas the other quarterbacks are. He's also, even if it's not, even if it's not as regularly as Josh Allen or even Matthew Stafford, he has rediscovered that touch of what the hell, let's take a shot and hit it. And if that stays, like if that's a thing that's going to be there if he starts games, that makes him a pretty good quarterback. Like he's still working in a bad situation, and there is still a ceiling to how good he can be. He's not going to be an all-pro or anything. But that's a pretty good group of ingredients of athletic playmaker who can scramble, won't put the ball in harm's way, and every now and again he's going to hit a bomb that will flip the field and give you a really good, a chunk play that changes the dynamic of the whole game. Those three things together are a pretty potent group of ingredients.
Just take it to Mina. You guys can talk Tyrod the whole time.
You're just not interested, huh?
No, I am. No, you're right. It's good. It's good stuff. I think the Giants are going to have trouble up front. No, it is interesting to see if Tyrod can elevate everything else around the Giants. They're looking for signs of hope to finish the season here. Some of the young guys playing well. You need John Michael Schmitz to play better at center. You need some of those young guys to play better.
Oh, man, John Michael Schmitz and Aaron Donald is going to be rough.
Who do the Rams have in Week 18? They've got the 49ers. So they go to San Francisco.
So they need this win.
Yeah. And they're the team that usually loses to San Francisco in the 40, in Shanahan. But, their Rams are tough now, man. They're a legit team. The reason why, they're 8-7, but for whatever reason, like Kyren Williams is really fantastic at running back.
Yeah.
Like he has been fantastic. The healthy Rams team is really dangerous, man. So your statement is true. I expect them to win and to cover, even in New York. Rams clinch a playoff berth if they win and Seattle loses, or if the Rams win and Sunday Night Football, Packers-Vikings is a tie.
A tie.
Yeah. So they're sitting there watching Sunday Night Football, rooting for a tie, potentially.
Just like everybody else.
Anyway, I don't think we emphasize this enough. Matthew Stafford has the lowest turnover-worthy play rate of his career by a mile.
He's usually not particularly good at that.
No.
It's not a Stafford trait over his career.
He has, again, when Dak was sitting there with by far the highest grade of his career, I kind of said, hey, that's not really in line with the rest of his career.
Right.
That could come back down to earth. I actually forgot that I had said that until he's come back down to earth the last couple weeks. So on one hand, Stafford could do a 5 turnover-worthy play game at any given point. But this is impressive how well he's taking care of the ball. He's got 9 turnover-worthy plays and 9 interceptions, meaning, there's probably some unlucky interceptions in there. It's been an excellent season for Stafford, especially given all of the circumstances with the Rams.
Yeah, and I think the Rams' offensive line deserves quite a bit of credit as well. That is a group that on paper looked awful and at the beginning of the year was awful, and they've come together over the course of the season with players that you would not say, like if you were listing the starting 5, you would be like, that's a problem. That's going to be an issue. Like Alaric Jackson has been at left tackle for most of the year. You'd be like, there's no way. That can't work. Matthew Stafford back there, no. And it has. It's worked pretty well. Like Coleman Shelton. Like, they've been getting by with a bunch of guys that don't look like it should be functioning, but it has been.
That's the MVP case, basically. But I'm just saying, like, that's what's been made the Rams so fun, is that, like, it on paper shouldn't work, and they've turned that into a very good offense, a good enough defense, and they could be dangerous. I think the Rams stay hot and cover this. What do you think?
Yeah.
5.5.
Same.
At New York.